How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is PSReady, my channel all about PlayStation. This is the weekend update here on the channel. Usually it's where I cover the news that kind of falls through the cracks during the week, but because the PS5 Pro comes out next week, there is a ton of new info. So today's video, I have 4 topics to cover. The first one being that we now know what the PS5 Pro Enhanced Badge that's going to be on physical games looks like. Second on the list, there are 80 games confirmed to be PS5 Pro Enhanced, and I'm gonna read all of them. All 80 games. I will read you the list. Third, this gamer will never pay more for PS Plus, and all things considered, it's not too outrageously expensive to do it like he did. And fourth and finally, for the PS5 Pro with Horizon Forbidden West, Gorilla is not using PSSR, they're using their own upscaler that honestly, if we're going by Digital Foundry standards, looks as good, if not just a little less good than DLSS, and that's awesome. All right, let's jump into the first news story here, which is a quick one. We now know what the badge for the PS5 Pro Enhanced games is going to look like. This is coming from Zuby Tech, who's a leaker, I guess, in the PlayStation world. Very PlayStation oriented, so I like when this person's tweets come up in my feed. He tweeted out a picture of a game called Empire of the Ants, and the cover's pretty cool. It looks like a game where you clearly play as ants, and on the box, there's a little badge in the bottom left. And right next to the PEGI rating, because this is a European game, is a little black badge that says PS5 Pro Enhanced, and I like it. I think it's cool that there's a visual signifier on the game box that shows you, yes, this game will look and run better, hopefully on your PS5 Pro. I wish that the little bullet points underneath that say like you need specific hardware to get these advantages in the actual game, I wish those bullet points were what specifically it is that's enhanced on the PS5 Pro, because it could be a range of things, right? It could be 4K resolution natively, it could be 60 FPS, it could be 120 FPS at 4K, it could be enhanced ray tracing features. I don't know if they're on the back of the box, because in this image that was shared, it doesn't show the back, but I'm assuming it's not, just because like it's easy to just throw a sticker on the front that says PS5 Pro Enhanced. But as we've seen throughout the generation, they've been a little bit tricky with updating the box art and what they include on the box. So hopefully, I don't know, eventually they start including the actual enhancements, because I just think that'd be good. Like if you're at Best Buy looking at new games, you're potentially at GameStop. I don't know why you would be, because no one goes there anymore. And you just pick up a random game off the shelf and you see that PS5 Pro Enhanced label. It would just be nice to know exactly what the enhancements are. I mean, it's not like an informed choice you're making really or anything like that, because if you're looking at that badge, you probably already have a PS5 Pro and you're not going to like choose between the PS5 or Pro, but finally, it would be good to know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was thinking about this because I've been watching a ton of retro game collecting channels. I'm not going to say which ones, because apparently there's a lot of drama in the retro game collecting sphere on YouTube, which I did not even know. I was just watching some channels. Apparently everyone hates everyone. So I'm not going to mention who I've been watching. I've been watching a wide gamut of them, but it makes me curious if you have a version of, I don't know, Resident Evil Village that doesn't have the PS5 Pro badge, like a launch copy, if the value of that would increase over one that does have the badge. I'm getting way too far into the weeds here, but yeah, the first game that I've seen personally with the PS5 Pro Enhanced Badge is Empire of the Ants. Not on my radar particularly, but hey, if you're into ants, maybe this game's for you. It could be the first game you play on your PS5 Pro. But that brings us to the second news story here, which is that there are now 80 games supported at launch for the PS5 Pro, and I'm just going to rattle down the list just in case you hear something you're interested in. There are a lot of old games, obviously there are some new ones thrown into the mix, but yeah, let's go from A to Z on this one. Since I'm reading them, I'm going to try and get them all in one go, since you guys like so much when I accidentally uploaded raw footage where I repeat lines 5,000 times. So you see how hard this is for me to do straight to camera. All right, we're starting out with Alan Wake 2. Oh my God, the second game. Oh, Jesus Christ. The second game is hard to read. All right, I'm going to do it. Alan Wake 2, Albatross, Apex Legends. All right, third try, guys. I'm gonna get it. Alan Wake 2, Albatross, Apex Legends, Alan Wake 2, Albatross, Apex Legends, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Bad Cheese, Croc the Legend of Gabos, The Callisto Protocol, The Crew Motorfest, Sayub VR, Dead Island 2, Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered, Demon's Souls, Diablo 4, and Vessel of Hatred, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Dragon's Dogma 2, Dwarf Journey, Dynasty Warriors Origins, EA Sports College Football 25, EA Sports FC 25, Elemental Car Wash, Empire of the Ants, which we just talked about, Enlisted, Everspace 2, F124, Fears to Fathom, Ironbark Lookout. Those games are really good. They're all inspired by actual creepypastas. The finals, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, The First Descendant, Fortnite, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, Helldivers 2, Hitman, World of Assassination, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, Kayak VR Mirage, that sounds like an AI generated game, The Last of Us Part 1, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, Lies of P, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, can't believe I got that one right first try, Lords of the Fallen, Madden NFL 25, Marvel Rivals, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, almost screwed up there, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, Marvel's Wolverine, which is not out yet, so assuming that's coming out in 2025, I guess, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, The Midnight Town Stories, Adam's Diary, that's fake, that can't be real. The Midnight Town Stories, Adam's Diary? Is ChatGPT making games now? Mortal Kombat 1, My Little Universe, Naraka Blade Point, No Man's Sky, Outbreak, Shades of Horror, Chromatic Split. You know what I'm thinking. Planet Coaster 2, Pro Baseball Spirits 2024-2025, Promise Mascot Agency, Quantum Error, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Redacted. Is that a game or is it a redacted title? Who knows? Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village, Retrieval, Rise of the Ronin, Rogue Flight, Sanguis Luna. Okay, one screw up. I'll count that as a screw up. I'm not starting over. Alan Wake, no, I'm just kidding. Smells Like a Mushroom, Spine This Gun Fu, Spine This Is Gun Fu, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Outlaws, Stellar Blade, Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Clown. That's me. I'm the Solar Clown. Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Crown, Towers of Agazba. That was right. I did that one. Truck Simulator 24, American Driver, UFC 5, Unreal Kingdoms, Until Dawn, Warframe, War Thunder, World of Warships, Legends. So some good games in there. I'm glad to see a lot of Resident Evil games. I'm glad to see a lot of shooters. Call of Duty, I don't think I said, those just exited my mind immediately, but yeah, 80 games at launch that are going to be PS5 Pro Enhanced. Obviously, I think they should all just be 60 FPS. I would take that over anything else. Ray tracing is cool. I'm fine with ray tracing. I would just prefer 60 FPS and an acceptable resolution. Like, we got to cut it out with these 720p games being upscaled to 4K because I mean, I'm sure most people don't notice it unless they've played on a gaming PC before that has a good graphics card in it. But, you know, we used to be able to run games natively at 1080p and then upscale them to 4K. And this entire generation, it feels like the bar is getting consistently lower and lower to like 720p. Let's cut that out with the PS5 Pro, and all 80 of these games should be 1080p minimum and have 60 FPS. That's all I'm really asking for out of the PS5 Pro. I'm so excited for this thing. I said it in the last video, but man, it's just gonna be cool to get new PlayStation hardware again for the next, like, I don't know, 2 years or so before they release the PS6. I know it's supposed to come out in 2028, but Xbox is apparently targeting 2026 or 2027, so there can't really be a massive gap between the Pro and the 6. So I cannot wait for the complaints, the denial. Everyone's saying they're not even doing a PS6, just like they did with the PS5 Pro. Regardless, next week's right around the corner. I cannot be more excited. Anyway, that brings us to the third news story here, which is this gamer is never paying for PS Plus again. So this is coming from Reddit, which is a source I never use, but I just thought this was so interesting that I had to talk about it. So the Reddit user's name is On Reddit in Class, and he was totally burned, totally spurned. He was just not into the idea of PlayStation continually raising the price of PS Plus Essential. I think you put the cart before the horse a little bit, Reddit user, just because PS Plus Essential came out a long time ago. It was originally $50 a year before it was required for online play. Then when the PS4 came out, they increased it to $60. I think they kind of earned at least the little bit of a price increase to $80 or so for a year of PS Plus Essential that they did with the PS5. That was over 2 years into the life cycle of the thing. I'm not defending PS Plus Extra or Premium because I don't like this three-tiered system, but you know, I feel like that price increase was warranted, but I'm always a respecter of trying to save some money, so let's get into the numbers here. So this guy was able to stack up enough gift cards for PS Plus Essential to last him until 2048. Yes, we are in 2024 and he's going all the way till 2048. So over 20 years, 24 years to be exact, I'm pretty sure. Check my math in the comments, I'm sure you will. And what did that cost this user? At $79.99 a year, this user ended up paying $1,000 $2,919.76. So like on its face, $2,000 for over 20 years of PlayStation Plus Essential. It honestly doesn't seem like that bad of a deal. Like if I was rich, you know, and I had money to burn, like I had more money than I knew what to do with, I'd just max it out too, because at the very least, you're going to be protected basically forever, even if they increase the price. Because if you prorate yourself by stacking these PS Plus memberships for that long, if they increase the price, who cares? Your account is good up until that point. But where you could run into trouble is if they start raising the price and then taking away features, right? Like they say, well, you know, at this low price of $80 a year, we can't keep giving you free games every month. So we're just going to move that up to PS Plus Extra. And in addition to the library of games that you can get and download for an undetermined amount of time, you're also going to start getting games that you can add to your account, just like PS Plus Essential, and will increase the amount of games you get every month. There's nothing they won't do, right? Like if Xbox goes away and Sony's at the top, only really competing with Nintendo, who's not really a competitor at the end of the day because they make completely different games for completely different audiences, they're going to be completely unchecked. And as we saw in the PS3 generation, when you don't check Sony, they go nuts. And as we're seeing right now with the PS5 Pro's pricing at $700, when they're not checked, they go far away as possible from consumer friendliness. And when they're in the middle or at the bottom, that's when they start doing the good stuff like they did throughout the entire PS3 generation. So I honestly don't think it's that bad of an idea. I don't think anyone else is going to do this because dropping $2,000 on PS Plus just kind of sucks as a reality. Like we already pay for internet. My internet's like over $100 a month. I feel like I should get free internet access on my PS5. That's $500. And especially my PS5 Pro, that's $700, because on my gaming PC and my Steam Deck, I could just play online. I buy the game on Steam. I get it at a great price because there's constant sales. I download the game to my Steam Deck and I can play it offline, even though it's a digital game, which is great. And I can play online for free, which is awesome. So it's like, I wish Sony would copy Steam and Valve much more than they copy Microsoft, because the paying for online service, of course, is yet another thing I can blame on Microsoft, because they introduced Xbox Live during the initial Xbox generation. I'll never forget. I went over to my friend Mike Holf's house in 5th grade, and it's like a block from my parents' house, and we played Brute Force online, and I was like, this sucks. This game is not very fun. Everyone bought it just so they could get the Halo 2 beta and try the Xbox Live integration with that. But yeah, the Xbox Live days with Halo 2, I don't know if they provide an experience worth paying for. And now that I'm like decades removed from that, I definitely don't, because now we're paying for online on the PlayStation side of the fence. But yeah, I really hope that this guy feels like he got his money worth with his $2,000, because he'll never have to think about it again. Well, at least until 2048. So yeah, let me know if you're going to do this down in the comments. I think I'm skipping, but I don't necessarily think I would judge you if you put in the $2,000 to get PS Plus stacked up till 2048. But that brings us to the fourth news story of today's video, which is this new upscaler that Guerrilla Games has come up with for Horizon Forbidden West. I talked about in the last video how a bunch of patches for PlayStation 5 games to upgrade them to PS5 Pro status are coming out, and in the patch for Horizon Forbidden West comes along with this new upscaler that's like a new technique that's completely circumventing PSSR. Now, the coolest thing is it looks almost on par with DLSS, which is crazy to see a game developer figure that out. It works with the Decima engine, so this could be pushed forward to Death Stranding 2 or any other game that ends up using the Decima engine. I'm pretty sure Until Dawn, the original version, used Decima, but I'm not sure if the remake that's overpriced used Decima. But still, if like this technology is working well in Decima, it'd be cool to see other developers use it, because the key benefit of using this instead of PSSR is it leaves the machine learning aspect of the PS5 Pro open for other tasks, like maybe loading in bigger draw distances or keeping characters high resolution farther away. Little things like that that add up into visual fidelity. And in a game like Horizon Forbidden West, where the one thing you can't take away from it is that it's an extremely high quality graphical showcase for the PlayStation brand, I feel like doing this is actually a smart move, because then it allows you to increase the graphics pretty much tenfold across the board using machine learning for other stuff than upscaling, because PSSR is a machine learning technology. Still, it is a little weird considering the biggest marketing point I think Sony threw out there during their PS5 Pro reveal was PSSR. So to see it launch with the PS5 Pro and have one of your flagship games not even really in using it, it's just kind of weird, right? Like, I think that's the biggest reasons Sony kept Guerrilla around as long as they did, with how middling the Killzone franchise sold the entire time it was a thing. And unfortunately, they've announced that they're done with Killzone. They're moved on to Horizon and everything like that. But it shows that they kept them around to be a technical help studio. So like if other studios like Kojima Productions want to use Decima, their in-house engine, they're there as support to help them get the best graphics and also push the overall technology of the engine forward to even beat PlayStation's best hardware engineers who came up with stuff like PSSR. But still, even though I'm not super stoked about the future we're in, where every game needs upscaling from like 720p all the way up to 4K these days instead of just being optimized to run at a good native resolution, it's nice to know that Sony has a good quality upscaler ready to go for this console. I'm curious if it's going to come to PC. I'm assuming it will, because at the end of the day, anything I can use instead of FSR, I'm going to use, because I am on a war against FSR. I don't think it looks good. It's had multiple generations to get its act together, and it just hasn't. And it really is detrimental on the PlayStation 5, because the lower the input resolution is, the worse FSR looks. It's the complete opposite quality-wise than DLSS. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you in this weekend update here on the channel. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.